What's up, y'all? I think the time has finally come. The time has finally come. I'm wearing my Def Jam shirt because you guys have been requesting me to review this game ever since I done a review on the first game back in March. And the game that I'm going to be reviewing today is none other than Def Jam Fight for New York. Y'all been requesting me to review this game forever. I've been wanting to review this game too ever since I done a review on Def Jam Vendetta back in March, and since I done a Let's Play of this on my YouTube channel. Now, this is a little warning. If you have not played this game before or never heard of it, then I suggest you don't watch this video because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that has not played this game before. But even if you haven't played the game before and you still want to watch this review on what this game is about, then feel free to continue watching the video. But don't say I didn't warn you when I said that I didn't want to spoil it for anybody that has not played this. But if you have played this several times like I have, then continue watching this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and review Def Jam Fight for New York. I pretty much didn't write down, the storylines and the gameplay and all that stuff because I know all the storyline and the gameplay of this by heart, just like Def Jam Vendetta. So without further ado, let's get into my review of Def Jam Fight for New York. So the story pretty much picks up for where we left off from Def Jam Vendetta. D-Mob gets arrested by the NYPD cops Starks and Jervis, and D-Mob is put in the back of their cop car and he is sent to jail. An SUV comes out of nowhere and crashes the cop car. D-Mob escapes from the back seat of the cop car. And Starks and Jervis were trying to explain to Detective Lauren, they were trying to find out who was the suspect that ran over the cop car. But the suspect turned out to be the hero of this game. So D-Mob pretty much has the suspect join him and his crew to fight against other hip-hop artists in an all-out battle for a new villain named Crow, who is played by Snoop Dogg. But later on in the story mode, after you defeat all of Crow's fighters, Crow and his crew kidnaps your girlfriend, and if you want your girlfriend back, you're gonna have to fight for Crow and win all of his clubs back. But then later on, you rejoin D-Mob and his crew, you fight Crow at the end, and that's pretty much the whole story. That's pretty much the whole story of Def Jam Fight for New York, if you played the game several times like I have. The gameplay of Def Jam Fight for New York is expanded from Def Jam Vendetta. Unlike Def Jam Vendetta, in Def Jam Fight for New York, you get to choose like 1, 2, or 3 out of 5 fighting styles for your character. Street fighting, martial arts, kickboxing, submissions, and wrestling. In Def Jam Vendetta, you can win a match by pinfall, submission, or knockout. But in Def Jam Fight for New York, it's different. Not only you get to win a match by making your opponent tap out, there's 4 ways that you can knock out your opponent. By using your blazing move on him, throwing him into the crowd, smashing him through a wall, steel cage, or a garbage can, head first or face first, or knocking your opponent out with a weapon. Unlike Def Jam Vendetta, besides wrestling in the ring, you can also wrestle in bars, clubs, rooftops, a garage, etc. You get to fight in different locations in Def Jam Fight for New York besides a wrestling ring. The artists that were in Def Jam Vendetta that came back in this game are Ludacris, Method Man and Redman, Capone and Noriega, Joe Budden, Scarface, Dub C, and Ghostface Killah. We also have new artists. Well, they're not actually new artists. They're just new artists to the Def Jam series, such as Busta Rhymes, Fat Joe, Snoop Dogg, the infamous Mobb Deep, R.I.P. Prodigy, X, soon to be birthday boy, X to the Z Exhibit, Warren G, Mac 10, Comp, Crazy Legs, Bone Crusher, Bubba Sparks, David Banner, Elephant Man, Sean Paul, Shauna, Chris Lighty, rest in peace, Bless, Famlay, Freeway, Memphis Bleak, Sticky Fingers, Ice-T, Slick Rick, Flavor Flav, Lil Kim, and Lil Flip. We also have celebrities that are not part of the hip hop industry that are also in the game, such as Kimora Lee Simmons, Carmen Electra, Henry Rollins, Danny Trejo, and Omar Epps. The only artists that didn't make it back in the sequel were Keith Murray, DMX, definitely a big loss there, DJ Funkmaster Flex, and Christina Milian. The positive of Def Jam Fight for New York, unlike Def Jam Vendetta, where you can only update your character stats based on power, speed, stamina, charisma, defense, and grapple. Besides that, you can also have your character dressed in different clothes, have him wear different jewelry, have different tattoos on his body, and also have different hairstyles and different facial hairstyles. The soundtrack in Def Jam Fight for New York is amazing. The soundtrack has songs from artists that are in the game, including throwback tracks from artists like LL Cool J and Big Daddy Kane. The graphics in Def Jam Fight for New York are amazing. Unlike Def Jam Fight for New York, this game does have blood in it. That's why instead of having this game become rated T for teen, it is rated M for mature. Even though I was, how old was I when I got the game for my birthday? 16, I believe. I was 13 in the 8th grade when the game came out, and the first time I played the game was a year after, when I was in my freshman year in high school, and I didn't own my own copy until my 16th birthday. The only negativity that I have about Def Jam Fight for New York is that it's sad that artists like DMX and Keith Murray weren't able to be back in the game. The reason why Keith Murray wasn't in Def Jam Fight for New York is because he was released from his contract after he was accused of choking 2 Def Jam employees. And DMX, he was talking about retirement after the release of his 5th album, Grand Champ. But it's sad that artists like DMX and Keith Murray didn't make it back in the sequel. And there's another artist that I forgot to mention that is in this game. Erick Sermon. That's another artist I forgot to mention that is in this game. So if you haven't played Def Jam Fight for New York, I definitely highly recommend it to you. 2 years after Def Jam Fight for New York came out, a spin-off game for the PSP was released in 2006 called Def Jam Fight for New York: The Takeover. So that pretty much wraps up my review of Def Jam Fight for New York. Like I said, if you haven't played it, I would highly recommend it to you. It is like the best game in the Def Jam series. This and Def Jam Vendetta, they're the only 2 games of the Def Jam series that I own. Now, we all know the next series in the game was Def Jam Icon, but I know one thing: you will not see my ass review Def Jam Icon or even play it, because Def Jam Icon is trash. I thought that they was going to continue on with the story of Def Jam Icon, but they decided to take it into a whole nother direction. And don't get me started on Def Jam Rap Star. I am definitely not playing and reviewing that game. It's not even a fighting game. It's pretty much a karaoke game where you can pretty much rap to your favorite artist songs, such as Method Man and Redman, The Rockwilder. But Def Jam Fight for New York definitely gets an official rating of a 10 out of 10. My next review is coming next Friday, September 24th, celebrating 25 years of the Nintendo 64 before the actual 25th anniversary on September 29th. Let me know what are my thoughts about my review of Def Jam Fight for New York. What are your opinions on Def Jam Fight for New York, and who are your favorite artists that are in this game? Thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a good night. Take care. Stay safe out there. Peace out.